I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? 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 Lay, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what?
I'm going to be realistic with you for a second. It's important that at some point in time, we can entertain each other. We can ensure that we laugh. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we enjoy content and sometimes we don't enjoy content. But at some point, we need to just kind of ignore all these agendas and actually be realistic for once. There's nothing wrong with polygamy. There's nothing wrong with it. Right? Now, obviously, if you're going to think about it, polygamy includes both genders, right? Meaning there's polygyny and then there's polyandry. And again, if we were to be realistic, and this is not coming from a biased point of view, but this is being realistic. Polygyny is normal. Polyandry is not normal. Let's be realistic for a second. So, as I'm welcoming you to this truth bombing episode, if you are a feminine man or a masculine woman, then obviously you're not going to agree with what I'm about to say. You're probably pissed off at the intro as we speak. But I am hopeful that you are mature enough to listen to the entire episode and actually think about it. Be logical, not emotional, right? So, if you're obviously not any of those two categories that I mentioned, because the other ones, I'm not even going to bother mentioning them, because that's just pure insanity, right? So, let's be realistic. Like I said, polygamy is a broad term that includes both polygyny and polyandry, right? But polygyny is where a man has two or more wives, and polyandry is when a woman has two or more husbands. Now, let's jump into why I said polygyny is normal and polyandry is not normal. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Honestly speaking, it's stupid. Every single living being, this includes animals, right? If you are to look at it from a logical point of view, right, you are able to tell, or you will be able to tell, that they know for a fact that polygyny makes sense, not polyandry. Polygyny makes sense. And I'll tell you why it makes sense. It goes back to one of the Bible verses in the Old Testament, pretty much in the beginning. I'm not particularly sure which verse it is, but somewhere in the beginning of the Bible, it says, "Be fruitful and multiply." Now, I am sure there are some podcasts or talk shows or people who studied the Bible and studied history and studied whatever that needs to be studied to apply whatever they studied to this point. But the truth is, we know for a fact what God meant when he said, "Be fruitful and multiply." How are you going to multiply with polyandry? You're already taking 9 months to make one baby. If you're lucky, 2, 3, 4, but you're lucky. But that's if you're lucky, right? You take 9 months to bring a baby, to create a baby and bring it to life. But let's be realistic. How many women will a man make pregnant within those 9 months? Think about it. Let's just be logical for once, right? Now, with animals, there was someone researched this and someone spoke about how gorillas are. There's 5 gorillas that are male and 5 gorillas that are female. That doesn't mean that each male gorilla has a female gorilla. No, there's one superior gorilla, and all these 5 female gorillas want this specific male gorilla. And then obviously when the male gorilla is done, because that male gorilla dominates the other 4, now the other 4 are able to enjoy the benefits of obviously being a man, right? But what does it mean? The gorilla is able to make these 5 pregnant at the same time. Now you as a woman who supports polyandry, you tell me, how are you going to multiply when it takes you 9 months to just cook one baby? 9 months to create a baby. And then you're still going to cater for the fact that you have to recover. So that's that's a year just being out of the game. Right? So let's just be logical for a second. Now I can already tell that there's some people that, okay, fine, fair enough. We understand every man basically supports polygyny. I mean, those that don't is obviously because, like I said, there's feminine men, right? By the way, I'm not shaming those who believe in one man, one woman. No, I'm not shaming that. In fact, it's more peaceful that way. It's more peaceful that way. If you had more than one woman, I'm telling you right now, it's more peaceful if you have one woman. But there's a lot of cons in having one woman because, again, you will, as a man, tap into your instincts. And it's unfortunate that some men, when they tap into your instincts, they can't, let me use this term, they can't cheat. So what do? They watch a particular type of content. I'm sure you'll be able to pretty much figure out what type of content I'm referring to. That's still cheating. If you've never thought about it, that's still cheating. You have a woman that you're supposed to be making love with or making love to, but this is where you get your satisfaction watching this type of content whilst you have a woman, right? But anyway, I was just saying that I'm not shaming the one woman, one man, one woman relationship or marriage. I'm not shaming it. In fact, if women were to be realistic and men were to be realistic, I'm pretty sure there'd be more one man, one woman relationships or marriages than polygyny and polyandry, right? But anyway, there are people who are thinking to themselves, men are saying this just because they want to cheat, right? Now, don't think that I'm going to be shaming women here because I'm also going to shame the men. Men of this generation want to enjoy the benefits of polygyny, but they don't want to be responsible. Let me say that again. Men want to enjoy the benefits of polygyny, but they don't want the responsibilities that come with polygyny. Benefits, obviously, having more than one woman. That's pretty obvious. But the responsibility that comes with polygyny, are you taking care of those women? Are you taking care of the children that you brought to this world? Well, 8 times out of 10, they're not. Because like I said, they want the benefits of polygyny, but they don't want the responsibilities that come with polygyny. So, obviously, if you're a man and you're running away from responsibilities, you can't all of a sudden be a person who their whole life weren't responsible, and then for some reason it happens. I'm not saying it's impossible, it happens, but in most cases you can't be an irresponsible human and then all of a sudden this one thing makes you responsible. It's a general statement though. So I would say the reason why kings were polygamous, right, was because obviously they were enjoying the benefits of polygyny, but they were also responsible. They were able to take care of their baby mamas or wives. They were able to take care of their children, right? So that is why I said in the beginning, if my intro pissed you off, this part should make you smile, because now I am shaming those that you thought I weren't going to shame, right? So it all goes back to who is able to handle the business of kings, basically, which is polygyny. Who is able to handle the business of kings, right? But as much as men are irresponsible, women are irresponsible too. Yeah, of course, a lot of our male population are scared of saying that, but it needs to be said. Women are irresponsible too. Why would you be attracted to someone that you can definitely tell they're irresponsible, but you're like, hey, you know what? This would be the perfect guy. Let's just be honest, right? Now, I've said what I said on polygyny, polyandry. There's nothing much to be said. We can basically say that a woman is trying to be a man because she wants to have options. Isn't that what a man is? Basically, isn't that what a man does? Wants options. But if you're tying it back to that verse that I mentioned earlier, be fruitful and multiply. How are you going to multiply when every single time you keep multiplying by 0.1 when you're supposed to be multiplying by 1 and above? In fact, 1.1 and above. You get the point. Don't come here with the calculator and actually try to calculate, right? So, polyandry is stupid. Stupid. Polygyny makes sense. But if you are a person who believes in one woman, one man, one woman relationships and marriages, that is not something to be ashamed of. But we need to be realistic. If the person that you're with is going to lead you to tapping into your instinct, polygamous instinct, right? Then why are you with that person in the first place? Why? Go and have a look at the mirror.
I want everybody to say, talk to me, Ntenjwa, talk to me.